Hello, Wendy.
Hello, Jane.
Welcome to Love Letters, Life, and Other Conversations.
Hello, Jane.
Hi, Wendy. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm really well. I feel like I haven't seen you for so long. I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels longer.
No. Well, we have such full days, you and I,
We
that
do.
they go fast and slow at the same time. But thank you for your grace last week as I took care of my neighbor. So I'm so glad that you got to have a special conversation with one of your residents.
I know. And Dr. Ruth, she's wonderful. A nice little interlude. She very much complements what you and I talk about. But of course, she's a professional.
Well, sure. I love that. Well, I'm glad. If anytime you want to bring her back on is perfect. I have to tell you that Trish and I have been chatting weekly.
Oh, fantastic.
Love her so much, and I'm so excited to have a friend.
Oh, she's a wonderful, wonderful girl. I first met Trish about 7 years ago, I think, when I first started Follow Your Dreams workshops.
So neat.
Which, of course, I haven't done any of those since before COVID because they're live in the Luxembourg Gardens. I wasn't able to do that for 2 years, and I'm so busy this year. But I am going to start those again on the 1st of November, I've decided, because I loved them. And Trish was in my very first Follow Your Dreams.
Aww.
And she is a wonderful, wonderful human being. And every time I go to Brisbane, I catch up with her.
Oh, I love that. Well, It's interesting that you're saying how you're so busy right now, but you're setting intentions for November, because that really is a beautiful intro into our discussion today.
Ooh. Let me remind everyone, Wendy hasn't told me what we're discussing. I have no idea. And that's what I love about our conversations. I love that it is just a conversation between two friends.
Yep, it's like a surprise party.
It is.
I love a surprise party. Today's quote is something that I heard years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard this quote years ago at a conference that I was with. So forgive me for not knowing the originator of it, but it has really stuck with me. And it is, say no to good things and save your yeses for the best. And the reason that I've been thinking about this is there's something that you and I have in common in that our work is seasonal in nature.
Yes.
And there are things that I can say yes to and sustain in the winter and spring that as summer gets closer, really this time of year right now, Memorial Day weekend, that everything changes on the property. We have a small farm. We primarily grow cut flowers, and Memorial Day is when New England kind of comes alive, and it is a short but intense growing season. And by the end of October, it's done. And then we go into hibernation of sorts as far as the gardens and outside is concerned. So I'm having to look at my schedule differently than I have in the past. So I've been thinking about that, and I'm wondering how that concept hits you.
Well, I've just quickly Googled say no to the good things and save your yeses for the best. I think the original quote was learn to say no to the good so you can say yes to the best.
Okay.
And John C Maxwell.
Oh, okay.
is the originator.
That makes sense then.
Apart from that, I love your say no to the good things and save your yeses for the best. And that's a Wendy quote.
Inspired by John Maxwell.
Inspired by John C. Maxwell.
As I so often am.
Yes. Yes. I absolutely 100% agree with you. I think it's a wonderful quote. You and I talk regularly, and so we know what's going on in each other's lives. And you know that earlier in the year or late last year, I said yes to something that I really, really wanted to do. Do you remember? I said no to a couple of things so that yes could come true.
Right.
Because I looked at it all and balanced it up and thought, well, if I do X, Y, and Z, I think I can make that yes come true. And I think I can say yes to the thing that really I do want to do and is the best thing for me to do. And I won't go into the details of what it was, but you know the details of that. And you know what it took for me to make that happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Including ringing my daughter and seeing if because the yes that I wanted to say, the thing that I wanted to say yes to was right in the middle of my first Chateau Life residency. I didn't hesitate to say yes when I was asked. But that night, I thought to myself, okay, this is a good test. This is a really good test. Not only do I really want to do this, and this is really important to me, but, you know, there might be other things that are going to come along. Like one of my daughters might be having a baby.
Right.
Well, they're not yet.
Right, but they could.
But they could. I need to be able to say, yes, I'm getting on a plane and I'm going to Australia.
Right.
And I'm going to be there when that baby's born and I'm going to stay for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's in the middle of my season.
Right.
Saying yes to something that really, really was important to me was it showed me that was doable. My April guests were the ones that I left for a week. Pete was still here and my daughter came and she took over. And it taught me a really, really important lesson. I can say yes. I can say yes when my heart really wants it. And it's something that's good for me.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that quote. Say no to good things. I mean, no, we don't have to say no to good things. I love that you save your yeses. You know, when you're busy and when you don't have a lot of opportunity to say yes, you say yes to the best.
Right. And there's a hierarchy of yeses, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are the big asks, like the thing that you got to enjoy and you knew several months ahead. And, you know, I have some big yeses. I'm leading a couple of trips to France in September. So those are yeses. And I had to say no to some of my flowers. And, you know, okay, that's that's harvest. September is harvest, but September is also harvest in France. And my friend Jeff and I are doing a cookbook project, and tomatoes are ready in September. So I'm saying no to my flowers and yes to his tomatoes. So that's an aligned yes. That is a full body yes. That is a hell yes. That is, I have a friend who just lives by this mantra that if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And that is, to feel that passionate about everything you say yes to is so great. So I love that, the idea of the hierarchy of the yes. But there are also things that for me are seasonally okay and have space for and are a full body yes. But in the summer, or, you know, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, that those yeses have to be adjusted. Pardon me. They have to change. They have to. I'm in a beautiful, gorgeous book club with some women, and I enjoy that time, and I love that time, and it's scheduled for an hour, and it always goes 90 minutes, and it's just rich and good. And I have to pause that until the end of my growing season, because as much as I love this time with these two beautiful souls, and I love the connection, and I love the inspiration that comes out, and all the, I mean, it's all business related. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all doing stuff to grow our business. However, that pocket of time in the middle of the day of my outside work day, it's just not the best use of my limited resource that is time. So
isn't that interesting? Because look at my book club, Monday morning, 10 a.m. It's funny. I just said to a friend just this week, let me see. Oh no, I can't read. I can't read it without oh yes, I can. Yes, I can. So you just said to me, my friend, that these two women are inspirational. You love the book club. You, supposed to go for 60 minutes, but it is always 90 minutes. Here is what I said to a friend this week. On time management, stress, anxiety, which is all so related to what Dr. Ruth and I spoke about. This is what I said, you can restructure and reimagine everything in your life anytime you want. Just close your eyes and try to imagine how you want it to look.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So why have I told you that? Because when I started this new platform, the Chateau Life Residency, which, let's face it, it's 7 months with complete strangers for the most part. Some are not complete strangers. When I looked at this platform, I looked at it and thought, how do I want this to look? How do I want this to work? How can this fit into my life and me get joy from it every day? So I reimagined a book club. So as you know, because I've taken you and Amelia and Christina to book club, and I take my Chateau Life residents to book club if they want to come.
Sure.
Some of them, they've all been once, but some of them don't want to come every week. But I go every week because what I gain from book club is definitely one of those save your yeses for the best. The friendships I've made there, the contacts I've made there, the inspiration I've got from book club. It's a non-negotiable in my life. It is a non-negotiable. Paris on a Monday is non-negotiable.
Well, Paris on a Monday is non-negotiable for me as well. And I think that's that is the beauty of it, that we can lobby for our yeses, and that helps us know which column they go into. So even though I do receive beautiful benefits in this month, I actually have to say no to that good thing in the time slot that it is. If there's an opportunity for that, I mean, we've got time zones to deal with and all of that stuff. If there is another time slot that works, then I'm available to try that. But actually, you know what? I'm going to say no. I have already spent time in my morning routine, in my meditation, in my
working
journal,
working through
what good things do I need to say no to in this particular season of my life?
Yes.
So that I can save my yeses for the best. So even though I want to waffle, because my favorite word is yes. I love to say
I
yes.
know.
I love to hear yes.
Yeah.
I love to say yes when someone says, this is probably a no, but I just wanted to ask. Oh, do I want to say yes to that? Oh my word. I don't even know what it is yet. And I want to say yes. But I need to say yes to myself and be available for what I already know is requiring my presence, and be available for what I don't know is going to be requiring my presence. And I'm going to be glad that I had some presence to give to it. You know, it's also reminding me of what you just said before we hit record about something that your son said, that the universe will always provide what you need.
Yes.
And sometimes that is the solution to a problem. And sometimes that is the intuition to make a decision that avoids a problem. There are so many things. And so I'm going to take this opportunity in this particular instance, and I have a couple of other things that need to come off my calendar, to trust myself that in this coming season, that is a no.
Yeah. Because look, we've got 168 hours a week. We've got 24 hours a day. We've got 8 to 10 hours of work. Well, you and I have a little bit more than that. Okay?
Well, what time do we wake up and what time do we go to bed? That's
ooh la la. I started cleaning because I have a new group arriving tomorrow. So I started cleaning at 7:15 this morning, just after I waved the last couple off in their car with their driver. And I've stopped to record this with you. And then I will sit on the back terrace and I will have a barbecue with my husband. Our calendar does have a limited capacity. Our weekly calendar has a limited capacity.
true.
Once it is full of obligations and commitments, then just like a glass that's full of water, it can take no more.
That's correct.
So we do have to understand that life has a capacity, and that at some point we do have to recognize that we have too many obligations. And we have to get some balance.
Right.
And just like I said to my friend, just close your eyes and try and imagine how you want it to look. You know, that's the simplest thing that anyone can do.
True.
And everyone can do that straight away. Close your eyes and think about how you want it to look, and then reimagine it.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter whether you're a big business or whether you're a little bit like us, Wendy, who curate beautiful experiences that we love doing ourselves as well.
Yeah.
There's always room for reinterpretation and reimagining.
And that brings up a few points. You can sometimes those realizations of being at our capacity of time and available time, that is, we also don't have to be the only ones that are doing all of this. Like, we can delegate, and if not us, who? And ask those questions, and we can get help, and someone else can weed the garden while I have book club. You know, this summer might not be the time to implement all of that help, but there is, you know, I heard a great quote from Gina DeVee that she just said, overwhelm is a sure sign that another solution exists. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, it just means there's a different solution. Like, you don't have to keep spinning in this space that is not life-giving and not feeding your soul. And in the same way, fear Fear is evidence that we're relying on our own strength to do something. And again, we're brought back to trusting the universe, trusting that we have all that we need within us. We have all that we need available to us. We need to be open and receive it. And sometimes receiving it is help, delegation, hiring people, accepting offers to be in our world and help us. Like, there's no prize for doing it all. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say it to you. I'm going to say it to me. I'm going to say it to everybody listening. There is no prize for doing it all yourself.
No. And do I know that?
Same.
Oh my gosh. Same. Yeah. Well, Wendy, I have absolutely adored this conversation today. I love Gina's quote, overwhelm is a sure sign that another solution exists.
Yes.
Gosh, we could almost do another chat just on that.
Yes, we could.
Circling back to how we started, and you said, say no to good things and save your yeses for the best. I love that. It is my new mantra.
You're so sweet.
I'm going to say that every single morning to myself.
Good. That's a great practice.
Yeah. I'm going to say that every single morning to myself. And, you know, Wendy, it's so apt. It is so apt, that quote, because, you know, post-COVID, we're all thinking this way. We're all wondering how we can do things differently, how we can bring more joy into our lives.
Right.
And that is the answer. Save your yeses for the best.
I agree.
I'm going to go and try and write that in calligraphy style.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Practice.
I know. I've done a little bit of practice. And I'm going to put it on my fridge. Perfect. Save your yeses for the best.
I love it. I'm going to go through my calendar and everything that's already on there, the weekly commitments, the daily commitments, and the new things that are coming because of just what plans happen in the summer. And I'm going to create 2 buckets, not 3. There's not a maybe. There's going to be a yes
and no
of what gets to stay. And I'm only going to do that in 90-day increments because
each season's different.
It really is. I mean, I grew up in California where there are no seasons. It's just rainy or not raining, and then it's Christmas. Like, that's it. So here in Massachusetts, there are distinct seasons. The things I learned in elementary school about the months, how March is in like a lion and out like a lamb, I had no idea what that meant in Orange County, California. It means nothing. But in New England, it means there are blizzards, and then it's very mild. And then April showers do, in fact, bring May flowers. And there are no flowers before May. So it's just very different. So for me, I can plan and re-examine in 90-day blocks, chunks of time, because there are things that I know are happening because of the seasonal duties of them. And there are things that I know that I have more margin. But I'm also trying to create more margin every day because I'm not just one person. I'm raising a beautiful human who I think is part unicorn because she's so magical. And I want to be available for her best yeses. And she is my best yes. When she says, Mom, let's have a sit and have a fancy drink, I do not want to say, oh, I'm too busy. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I don't ever want to say that to her great ideas.
No, and I can't imagine that you would. I loved that Instagram story the other day where you said to Amelia, we should work our way through this cookie book. And she said over the next 30 days and make cookies every single day for 30 days. And she said, Mum, you're a genius.
I know. I loved it. It's like, you are my ideal client. Perfect.
I love that. I love that.
And we're having the best time doing it too.
Good. Oh my gosh, I would love some of those cookies.
So fun. Well, half of them are going in the freezer, so you might just get some in September.
Oh la la, that would be wonderful.
Yes,
that would be wonderful.
You can even choose.
Takeaways from today, Wendy.
Oh, I feel like I already did my takeaways. Okay.
I feel like you did too.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through my calendar, and I am in, very similar to Marie Kondo in only keeping the items that spark joy. I'm going to only keep the things in my calendar that are a full body yes, not an obligation, not anything, but a full body yes for this season.
Yeah. I feel like my takeaway is, apart from save your yeses for the best, which I love, I feel like what we have really talked about is these non-negotiables are our personal priorities.
Yes.
And we need to wrap our arms around the non-negotiables and love them and make sure that they never, ever leave the personal priority box.
Until they are no longer a full body yes.
Until they are no longer a full body yes.
I think we have to trust ourselves. There are seasons in the year, and there are seasons in our life that what was a hard yes for a really long time is no longer a yes.
Yes. Ooh, yes.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I'm here for it.
Yes, me too, Wendy. I've loved this today. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you and speaking to you again next week.
As do I. Thanks, Jane. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We have loved this conversation and sharing this love letter with you, and we would like to invite you to send us your love letters. Visit the link in the show notes to send us your letters and to join our email list. See you next week.
Trust her words and let her wisdom show. Don't let your dreams fade away like a maybe. Life keeps rolling on and then it's gone.